Hello. In the chair today is Bev Griffiths, the Director of Events and Public Safety here at the EPC. Beverly and her team have recently published an important new piece of work, the Good Practice Guide to Working in Safety Advisory Groups. Beverly, explain to us first of all, if you will, why you thought this work was necessary.
So through the work that the college has done for many years on leading on safety advisory groups, courses and training, and working with many organisations out there, we've been asked by most of the organisations, the event organisers side and also the public safety side, to produce the guidance, and they felt that as the Cabinet Officers College and the leader on the course that we should be the ones who led on it. We did lots of research to support the cry from the people. So we did research into the event industry and the public safety for the need for the guidance. And there was previously 2 other guidance done by other people, other organisations, but those didn't go as far as people wanted them to go, as into how to set up and what to consider for an advisory group. So we listened, we did the research, and we got together a great large amount of people from the sector, public safety side, from government organisations, health and safety executive have helped us as well, and the events industry side, many of the professional organisations, and we got a working group together to decide what was required and what was needed in the guidance to balance both sides of the coin, if you like, to safety.
Is there a safety issue in the events industry?
Yes, there is. Many events go on very safely, but safety is one of those things that costs quite a bit of money sometimes. People think it costs a lot of money, but sometimes some quick, easy wins can help, and just working together as a multi-agency group can perhaps put some of those safety issues back into play. And we have a lot of near misses happening across the UK.
Really?
Yes. On a weekly basis, across my desk comes lots of, this was the latest death sometimes, but mainly major serious injuries in people, motorsports, some of the races that we have, some of the runs that we have, some swims we were talking about earlier as a group, about swimming environment. People think that they can put on an event and perhaps don't think about the health and safety issues. It's not just security, it's the health and safety issues of the participants, but also the spectators as well.
If I was an event organiser thinking about running an open sea swim later this year, would I have an obligation, a legal obligation, to go and talk to my local safety advisory group?
No. So the there are health and safety legislation, but it doesn't make you go and speak to a safety advisory group. The safety advisory group there is there for advice and to support, but there are
Well, there'll be people who think actually that what the safety advisory group is about putting obstacles in the way of people who want to organise events.
Yes, and many event organisers have come to believe that, because over the years the safety advisory groups have grown and individual areas have done their own thing and perhaps put obstacles in people's way, when an safety advisory group should be just that. It should be advice and about supporting events going ahead. But there are enforcement legislation through various organisations, such as the local authority, the police and the fire, and the health and safety. But it's understanding those and working together before they become enforcement issues, and understanding what has to be put in place. So the safety advisory group should be about advising on that, but not actually enforcing it or putting barriers in people's way.
But there are people in the events industry, people who've organised historic events in their villages and towns over many, many years, who think that this is just another example of the overzealous attitude towards safety in this country.
Yes, and it's not. It is about making sure those events happen, but happen in a safe way. None of those event organisers want to be on the page of the newspaper tomorrow or responsible for anybody's death, and all we're trying to do is help people understand health and safety, spectator safety, and how bringing people together in crowds sometimes changes behaviour and changes the dynamics of the environment that they're in because of their nature of crowds. So we're trying to help them to understand the safety considerations for them. So it is a successful event and it goes on.
To be clear, as an event organiser, who would I expect to find around the table at a meeting of the SAG?
Okay, well, depending on the event, but the core people would definitely be the event organiser, because it's so important for them to advise as to what they consider is going to happen and how they're going to put the safety aspects into place. The local police event team, who should be there. The fire and rescue team are often there just to advise, to make sure that the fire and rescue and the ability for them to attend if something was to happen, or attend somewhere else that the event is there now blocking off, would be there. The local health authority, usually an ambulance personnel because of the health aspects, and local authority. But the local authority may have a number of people there. They may have licensing, they may have parks or event team there, and they may have environmental health people there as well. So there's lots of different parts of a local authority that may be in attendance there. So they're the core members, but there may be transport operators depending on how large the event may be.
To be clear, there is no legal requirement for me to consult with the SAG, but presumably my insurers would be very keen for me to talk to the SAG, and equally if there were some disaster or some tragedy at an event I was organising, when there came to be an inquiry, I would be in a much healthier position, a stronger position, if I were able to say, well, I'd consulted with the SAG.
Yes. Sports Grounds Safety Authorities came out of the Hillsborough inquiry, and Lord Justice Taylor was the first person to say why wasn't there a safety advisory group. So now under the Sports Grounds Safety Act, there is a requirement for football grounds to have safety advisory groups, but no other event has to have a legal requirement for a safety advisory group. But you're right, as into the insurance companies, we are working more and more as a college here with our experts and our advisors with insurance companies who are actually investigating. As I said, we hear about these serious injuries and deaths at various events across the UK, and a lot of it is actually through the insurance industry saying, please come and help some of our event organisers just understand health and safety a little bit more. And those people are often being supported by their insurance, but then into an inquiry with the health and safety or the police with investigations. And if they'd have only spoken to the safety advisory group, they would have actually, as you said, been supported more. It would have been a safer event, and you never know, the insurance may have been less in the future.
This country has a rich tradition of organising events which reflect
Absolutely.
the culture of the country, as well as our sporting aspirations. Are you confident that as a result of what you've produced in this document, this tradition can continue to flourish, or would we expect now to see there to be rather more constraint and perhaps people drawing in their ambitions, being less ambitious about what they want to organise in the future because they're now more worried about the risk?
No, absolutely. It's about supporting those events, and there is government advice about small local events being able to be put on. It's about advising the event organisers to make sure they're aware of what issues they should consider because to support them, and also that to the safety advisory group to understand how they can support those events as well. We have a great tradition in the UK. I myself have been involved in events from a little girl, and we've had a great tradition, but volunteering for some of those community events is getting less and less, and so people are getting under more and more strain to put these events on, perhaps without the support that they've had in the past. And so it's just about making sure some of these people are fully aware about health and safety issues and spectator safety issues with managing crowds and events, so it can be successful for the future.
So Beverly, what more support can the college, the EPC, give to events organisers? You produce this guide.
Yes.
What else can you do to help them?
So as well as doing our courses, we also have been experts at events ourselves. Most of my team work in events. We ourselves, as the college, went to work at the Tall Ships at Greenwich this year, which was a challenging event with crowd safety issues and making sure everybody had a great time but making sure it happened safely and everybody got to where they needed to at the same time. So we are there working with people, we support people, we advise people and we mentor people. So sometimes some people perhaps are competent but perhaps don't have the confidence in managing a large event. Well, we've got a team who support that, and we've got a great deal of experience of working with them, reviewing plans, auditing their staff. We also do the Spectator Safety Level 4 qualification, which is managing an event qualification. So most of our staff are assessors as well. So we really do the whole remit of support for people.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.